Hey y'all, Austin here with Our World Media. Welcome back to another weekly update. I know I didn't get one of these videos out last week. It's been a hectic month so far between trying to balance scary movies and reading and work and everything. It tends to get a little crazy, but you know what? Y'all aren't here to listen to me complain about my busy schedule. We all have busy schedules. So let's get into it, guys. What have I been reading? Well, I did start and I finished The Warrior's Path by Louis L'Amour, book 3 in the Sackett series. This is, if you've stuck around for a numerous amount of time, we are doing a wagon train, a big fellowship read. This, like I said, this is the third book in the series. I enjoyed this one. I'm not sure when my review will be up. Probably be about a week and a half if I had to guess. I have some other stuff in the works lined up. Don't want to flood y'all with too many reviews within a certain span of time. So keep an eye out for this, though. What I will say, I enjoyed this. This kind of felt like a combination of book 1 and book 2 with a couple other little things thrown in there, kind of condensed into one smaller book. So a little bit of a letdown in some areas. Really enjoyed it in other areas. Like I said, though, keep an eye out and stick around for that review whenever I am able to get that up for y'all. The next thing I finished was Spartan Gold by Clive Cussler and Grant Blackwood. This review will be up this week. I'm not sure the exact day. I have recorded the review, just got to upload it. Again, not going to go too much into detail on this. What I will say, again, a little bit of a letdown for this one. I had really, really high hopes going into it. I enjoyed it enough. I'm going to continue with the series. And I will get in when I had that review up the finer things of what I was kind of disappointed in this book. But again, keep an eye out for that. That review will be up this week. One that I did finish and got a review up for is The Tarnished Star by Lewis B. Patton. Last month, mostly what I read was horror stuff, so I was really looking forward to getting into a Western book, and so I just grabbed this one on a whim off my shelf back there. There's a new author who picked up this book, and I gotta say, I was very surprised by this book. I really, really liked it. I was conversing with Faceless down in the comments of this review, and I told him, I said, once I get a few more, read a few more of his books, get those under my belt and whatnot, he may end up being an author that I really, really like. I really enjoyed this one. Again, so if his other books are the same, writing style, the same character development and whatnot, every character felt unique and different, he could definitely be up there in the ranks of Louis L'Amour and Zane Grey, at least for me. But again, The Tarnished Star by Lewis B. Patton, again, an author I really hadn't heard anything about. So I'm very interested in picking up more books by him. I did start and I finished this yesterday, actually, The Angel of Indian Lake by Stephen Graham Jones. This is the third and final book in this trilogy that I started back in August, or reread. My Heart is a Chainsaw in August. I reread Don't Fear the Reaper in September. Then I picked this up. This review will be up sometime this week. Again, not sure the exact day just yet. What I will say, though, I had super, super high hopes going into this book. Again, a little let down. You'll notice a trend here with these books that I am talking about, though. But again, I enjoyed it. I'm really happy that I picked up this trilogy, read it, reread the first 2 books, finished this. Again, Stephen Graham Jones is somebody that I will definitely be reading any books that he has come out in the future. I need to go back and read his backlog of books that he has. I know they're re-releasing a bunch of them on Amazon and whatnot, so I'm gonna have to start slowly buying more of his books from his back catalog to pick up and read. But again, guys, that's 4 books so far that I've read in the month of October, and we still have like 2.5 weeks to go. So that leads me into, what am I going to be reading? Well, I am going to be continuing on with the Wagon Train reading. The next book is book 4, and that is Jubal Sackett. Again, book 4, this is one I'm very interested to read. It is a longer L'Amour book. Again, Louis L'Amour books for me, when they're longer like this, it's 50-50. It could either be really good, or I can enjoy some aspects but not enjoy it as much. I still like them all. But what I will say, Jubal Sackett was mentioned in the second book. He was mentioned in the third book. He's kind of the loner, kind of the the black sheep of the family, kind of just goes off on his own. Nobody's really seen him, doesn't know where he goes, who he's hanging around with. They talk about how he's gone to the far west of the new land of America. So I'm really, really hoping we will get to see maybe some of the Pacific Coast in this book. Again, fingers crossed. I think that would be very, very interesting to see Louis L'Amour describe, certain scenery and whatnot. I know if you go on Louis L'Amour's website, there's a chart where you can click the states and it'll tell you what book takes place there. I'm not sure where this one seems like it might take place all over the U.S. possibly. Hopefully, again, with a book this big, I can't imagine he's keeping it contained to one small area. But again, looking forward into getting into that. I still also have Ombre by Elmore Leonard to read. This is one I've pushed back, and I'm going to finally get to it this month, as well as Stephen King's It. I need to continue on with this. I have my bookmark here and a sticky note. I want to try and be, by the end of the month, to page 1,000. So about 600 pages in the next 2.5 weeks to read. So I think it's doable. I'm not going to lie. I really do think it's doable. I was talking with my wife earlier this morning, actually, because, like I said in the beginning of the month, a couple weeks ago, we are going on vacation, and between layovers and flight time, I think we're going to be like 12 to 13 hours between layovers and flight time. So I told her, I said, I may be reading quite a bit on that time if I don't have as much done as I would like. So we shall see. Again, that's kind of what's up for the rest of the month. I do have a couple things that I'm going to throw in there if I do finish a little early. Again, 2.5 weeks. I got quite a bit to go in this Stephen King book. But if I have the time, like I said, I'm going on vacation. So, and generally I like to start the month off fresh, nothing kind of riding over from the previous month. But again, if I get time, I did add a couple things to the TBR to throw in there in case, again, I do get the time. The first thing is The Blackest Heart by Brian Lee Durfee, the 5 Warrior Angels trilogy series. I want to continue this. I'm about 120 something pages into this series. Again, I absolutely loved book 1. I kind of skipped ahead and started book 2. Kind of put this on hold so I could start it, but I just have that itch to read a fantasy book. So if I somehow finish these 2 this week, somehow if I finish a little early, I might start on that. And again, I generally try not to do 2 big chunkers of books at the same time, but these are so different in writing style, I believe, as well as the genre, that I think it's doable. And then if I do finish those, I do have The Blackest Heart and it on my Kindle, so that'll make it a little easier for flight traveling and whatnot. Again, and this is a big if I do finish these 2, and I can read it or The Blackest Heart on my Kindle, I don't want to take those big chunkers on a plane with me. I like to have a physical book to read with me, just in case my Kindle dies. I did pick up this book, and I'm going to starting off. This is not a political channel by any means. I don't want it to become one. If you are somebody who has a political opinion, kind of keep it to yourself. This is a book channel / movie channel. But one book that I just recently bought that I'm really interested to read is Hillbilly Elegy by J.D. Vance. This is a #1 New York Times bestseller. This really interesting to me, or at least it sounds interesting. It's kind of like a autobiography. He grew up, he was born in, where was it? The Appalachian Mountains or whatever, kind of moved to Ohio. So I'm just kind of interested to see, what that life was like. It seems like from the reading the back here, sounds like he had alcoholic family members, possible family members that were into drugs and whatnot. And I'm just kind of interested to see what led him to go into the military, just kind of interested. This sounds really interesting to me. If this was by anybody else, I'd still read it. It sounds very, very interesting to me. I know he's a very well-spoken gentleman and whatnot. So again, I'm just interested to read this book, not for any political reasons. I'm just curious what this book is about, and it's not that long. So again, if I somehow finish, Ombre and Jubal Sackett before I go on my trip. I might take this with me. So that's kind of what's up that on the TBR. Again, a little bit of shuffling, kind of getting some stuff in there because I did finish a little bit quicker on those books than what I anticipated. So this week's reads are going to be Jubal Sackett. I need to continue on with this. Like I said, I think Kevin is starting this book today. I think a couple other people might have just started, or they're going to plan on starting sometime this week. So I need to get through Jubal Sackett, as well as I need to continue on with reading It by Stephen King. So these are the two that are up on the ballot this week to try and get through. Again, I'm going to focus mostly on Jubal Sackett and try and get through this one. Again, it's like 300 something pages, so very interested in that. With the Louis L'Amour book, I could sit there and read 150 pages in one night and be halfway done with the book, but we'll see. Again, that's kind of what's up on the schedule this week as far as books go. Sorry guys, but I gotta stay somewhat organized, so I'm gonna move this stuff over here. Kind of what's coming up on the channel. Like I said, I have 2 book reviews coming up. I had The Angel of Indian Lake as well as Spartan Gold on schedule for this week. I gotta get Warrior's Path. I gotta get that review out for you guys, as well as I'm going to do some scary movie stuff on the channel. I've really been slacking this month. I focused mostly on reading, so I really haven't even watched a whole lot of scary movies. I think I've probably watched like 3 so far this month. So again, I'm very, very sorry I'm slacking. I'm falling behind on that. But again, gonna get some horror movie content out on the channel this week. But as always guys, I hope you have a great week. Hope y'all are having a great October. Hopefully you get to watch some scary movies, maybe read some scary books. If not, at least read some books and watch some good movies or TV shows. Again, you guys have a great week. See ya.